Alright, so a little bit of progress on the cooling. Doing a little bit of calculations. This radiator came off of a CR 250, about 46 horsepower. There's two radiators on it, so each radiator is good for about 23 horsepower of cooling-ish, although maybe in its optimal condition, or it might be suboptimal now. But if the motor is approximately, let's say, 80% efficient, and I'm doing 20 kilowatts, that's 4 kilowatts of heat, about 5.3 horsepower. So I'm pretty sure this radiator can do the 5 horsepower of cooling no problem without much airflow over it, just because it's rated for about 23. But it's rated for 23 at a higher temperature differential. I want to run these at a lower temperature differential, so the amount of horsepower cooling that I'll be able to do will be less. But I think I'm in the realm of acceptable, a factor of 4 or so. So I think I'll be able to keep my motor cool. Alright, so now I got my water pump hooked up. When I turn this switch on right here, this water pump will kick on. Turn the switch on. So that switch is my DC-DC. So the power comes in through here. I got 3 lights left, so that's good. I have killed one of these so far. And I bought these off a battery hookup. And out of the, I don't know, let's say 10 that I bought, I was able to salvage 6. The rest were garbage. So I have 18-ish volts coming in here, 12 volts coming out, going to my relays and everything, and then my rat's nest of wires. And out of here it goes down into this beautiful bundled wire, and then it goes bundled up around to there. I still need to fill it up with fluid. Going to do that in just a bit. I still need to get one more hose clamp. Did not have enough, unfortunately. Those hose clamps down there are too small. And I think this will work. So I think what's going to happen is the fluid's going to come up to this level right here. The radiator is going to be 100% full, but I'm probably going to plug this up here so that it's going to be like just a closed lock system, and I'll just put a dowel or something in it and hose clamp it shut, and hopefully it doesn't blow any hoses off. I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, finally got the water cooling sorted. You'd think, me being a mechanical engineer, I'd be able to figure this out a little bit quicker. Nope. Had to just trial and error it. So I kept putting the supply line, which is the white PVC line, on the pressure side of the pump, which is right there. I would put it like, came out of here. I tried on this side here, which is on the suction line, but it wouldn't go high enough up to get the vacuum lock out. I kept on getting air in this tube right here. I would get air in that loop, and I couldn't get it out. I had to get a way to get the air out of it. So finally, figured out, put the supply reservoir right there, and I did that, and then I started pumping water out of my vent on my radiator, which is that line right there. So I just doubled it over, and so I'm going to put a cap on that, and made a huge spaghetti mess on all the stuff. I got to clean all that up now. I got radiator fluid on the ground, so I got to rinse all that out now. But, water cooling. So when I turn the car on, look at that. Water cooling. And I think with minimal leaks. So it's even a bigger plus. So now, that's right, maximum horsepower. Okay, updates. I have got the pedal in. I had to fight with that for a long time. I finally had to adjust the software to change the low level from 0 to 1 or 5 or something like that, because the software was looking for a level of number 1. I'm sorry, looking for a 0, and my pedal was not given that. And I also had to figure out what I needed from there. So all I did is I cut the throttle wire from that box and spliced my positive and ground, 5 volts and ground, into those guys. I am not using the switch. If you listen, I'm not using that switch. I'm using this switch here to get everything going. I have installed the brakes, and like I said earlier, got water cooling. So now, time for the main run. I'm going to put the amp clamp back on one of the main wires. I have not changed the power setting. I've got my main disconnect in. It looks like it's ready to go. Alright, so I figured something out so far. I have to have the power to the controller, the main power, before I switch it on, because if not, it'll read low volts. So now, let me go take it out for a spin. 7 amps. Okay. 17 amps max. Let's kick it up. It does okay. I'm pretty happy with it. It feels good. So let's turn it up and see what happens. Also, after running it a little bit, all of the air has come out of the system. You can't really see it anymore, but now you can just see a few bubbles zipping by. So all you hear is just the pump going, but you don't really hear anything. So that's going pretty good. Alright, let's turn it up to 50% and see what happens. That should be 100 amps, and we'll see what happens there. Alright, let's go find, there it is. I am not connected, motor's not spinning, Bluetooth. Open, open, there we go. Connection failed, but it's solid. Let me read. Device is not open, please open first, close, open. Alright, let me switch it off. Okay, controller back on, open, that guy. Alright, it is solid. Read, hit the R. Okay, now I gotta go find where is the amp limit. Current percent right there, boom. So let's go 50. Next, this is battery current limit. Don't want 5200. Done. So now we're at 50% right. Now we should be pulling, we'll see how many amps we pull actually, but we're at 100 and, what is 42 times 3.7. But we'll also, what we'll do is we'll jump into the BMS so we can watch the cells as I'm screaming. BMS top, let's load it up. Okay. So let's go to range. That's the cells. Let's go. Woohoo! Let's see if we get 34 amps so far. Amps. Step down, floored. Feels like we're topped out now. Alright. Okay, let's go. Do I have any GPS apps? GPS, no. Alright, I'll go get what I'm doing real quick. I will turn the car on. That kicks on the pump. Pre-charge. Oh, gotta turn the key off. Pre-charge. 1 on, 2 on. Pre-charge off. And then key on. Okay, should be ready to go. And that's 34 amps. That's what we did last time. Okay, now let's go over to the speedo. Yes. Bluetooth. Open. Read. Wait on. Okay, read. There we go. Low volts. Alright, so I figured out the problem on the power. The problem was my relays were not shoved all the way down. Shoved them down, and now we got power. Okay, so still 34 amps is my max. Oh shit! Oh, that was loud. Oh my god, so wait a minute. Okay, so I think because my relays were not down all the way, I was not getting full power when I was flooring it earlier. Oh, and it says overload too. Jeez Louise. I pulled a crap ton of amps right there. I don't know how many amps I pulled. Okay, so now I'm on the 600. Select DC. Max. Let's just take off. Oh boy! It boogies now. And I had to slow down for a stop sign. Here we go. 50 amps floored. Ugh. 22 miles an hour. Okay, I had to slow down, hitting the brakes. Let's go for a top speed run down the street. But I hit 60 amps on that one, and it pulls. But it hits a wall. Boy, does it hit a wall. It's floored right now. Chain's screaming. U-turn. Okay, so because I back up here, because I couldn't figure out why I was only pulling 20 amps before. Hopefully I don't get run over by a car. Open, sitting on the street, connected, read. So let's go back down, because I just pulled way too many. Let's go back down to 35. Next, 35. Done. Right complete. Turn off. Actually, let's go check out. So that's pulling 38 amps now. I think the brakes are dragging. That's part of the problem. But as it accelerates, okay. There, as soon as I try to threaten it. So, floored. Okay, I'm gonna floor it just right from the start, and I'll see if the chain pops. Oh, Jesus, it does. Okay. So I'm looking back. I'll do that. Let me take a video of this. So what I was afraid of was that thing moving. Oh, Jesus, that hurts so bad. Yeah, the jack shaft is flexing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And the brakes just grind. That's why I took them off. Just hear them. Put some grease on that. That'll fix that problem. I haven't done any videos of me driving. Oh my God. Brakes actually do pretty decent, slowing you down. Do a little off-road right here. See how this does. Oh. I can make it. I can make it. Okay. Ah, made it. Told you I can make it. brake. God. Lord. Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't smart. Reverse. Forward. Oh, shit. Okay. I'm not sure what happened. Let's turn the key off. Restart. There we go. Okay. Stay out of the water. I really need a better seat now. Something with a little bit of cushion. My ass is not used to getting this pounded. Alright, back in the shop. Just a quick recap over what I learned. Learned that relays were not pushed in all the way when I pushed my whole fist or palm on them like that. They snapped in, and then all of a sudden I was getting bolts across here from my positive. It was not transmitting bolts like it was supposed to. The other things I learned, how to bleed a radiator system, although common sense would have solved that, but apparently I lack that. The jack shaft is too weak because I am holding it there and there. You can't even get a good angle, but basically on that, no, I'm sorry, I'm holding it, you can see it here. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. You can see this one here and all the way over here. So I got a huge simply supported beam, and it just bends in when I pull power. And I think it's pulling power in this one because that's the chain that has the most torque in it. So I'm not sure which chain is slipping. Probably, if I had to guess, that chain because it's got the most torque in it. But yeah, the brakes are working. That's awesome. Yeah, there's the pillow block right there, all the way on the edge. You can see it. So, terrible design. You'd think a mechanical engineer could have figured that one out, but still learning. Pedal works. Had to redo the throttle position sensor on that one. And that's about it. I'm trying to think. Oh, no, I kept on getting the low volts. I told you earlier that you had the key in the right spot, but I think that was all because of this guy. So, once I get that sorted, and I'm down to 36 amps from the battery on 35%. So I guess it's pretty close 1-to-1 because I went to 50% and I was pulling 60 amps. So, and when I pull 60, it clips the chain. And then, yeah, there's my vent or my top for my radiator. But yeah, besides that, it seems to all be working pretty good. This, I need to fix this guy a little bit. This one getting ready to fall off. But yeah, now I just need to clean everything up because everything is still just a rat's nest full of wires. I mean, look over there, look at all that crap. I don't know what I'm going to do with this right now. I'm just going to leave it for now, just because it gives me forward and reverse really easy, even though I've got switches for it, but the box is kind of nice. That's about it. Still got to fix all that. Ugh, I got to get those switches sorted, but whatever. But man, it's got pretty good power, and the peak was 60 amps at 150 volts, which is about 12 horsepower. But again, I'm hitting a wall at about 22, 25 miles an hour. I'm not exactly sure why. I got to figure that out. But I'm hoping I can get a new controller, which I actually have sitting right there, and have someone help me to where I can do field weakening, and then that bad boy will spin to 14,000 RPM, and then I don't have any more problems. All the problems go away, and then all I have is speed. And then I guess the next problems I'll have is medical problems from running this thing into something. Alright, I'm not sure when the next update's going to be. I've got a ton of stuff accomplished. You know, I just wanted to get more power, and finally did. And, you know, found the next weak link, which is the jack shaft. So, get that fixed, and then go from there. Crank it up to 50, 70%. And then, also, like I said, I need to figure out that RPM problem, because going from 0 to 22 miles an hour, spinning the tires all the way up is neat and all, but come on, man. I need more speed.